I think P3s are basically a somewhat warped ideological answer to the public's need and request for capital investment in public infrastructure. When it comes to certain things, hospitals, schools, public infrastructure, I think it's always better to have the government lead, because at the end of the day, the government is the people. The taxpayer can vote you in or out every 4 years. With a corporation that gets a 30-year contract, you're going to be at the behest of shareholders. Shareholders who may be in Arkansas, they may be in Japan, who knows? But they don't live in the place where the infrastructure is being built. If we are going to embark upon projects with the private sector, I think that there ought to be so many safeguards, and it ought to be a very careful process, and one which instills that the main focus of building hospitals, schools, roadways, railways should be for the benefit of the community. It shouldn't be for the benefit of offshore shareholders. We need to have a mayor and council that wants accountability, that wants to take care of each taxpayer dollar. And with the bypass, nothing like that has happened. And I think we also see this process with the stadium. It's not just the bypass, but the stadium as well. Like, why on earth would you build a brand new stadium right next to a mainline railway that has trains on it of 100 cars plus every half hour? And there's no major highway connections to that stadium. The closest is the Louvain, but that you have to navigate Evraz Place to get to the stadium. And again, if they wanted to have the green option of transit being used for the stadium, again, it's a bit like asking an Irishman for directions, and he answers, well, I wouldn't have started from here. And I think that encapsulates exactly how the stadium was constructed and where they chose to build. And it's the same with the bypass. But we can't afford these things to happen again and again, because they do seem to. It's the same with the GTH and also the downtown land that was purchased by the city from Canadian Pacific Railway. Why on earth would you buy land to redevelop when you already know that underneath that land, the contamination of 50 years of railway operation exists? The Canadian Pacific Railway was essentially gifted a new intermodal centre at the GTH at taxpayers' expense. Again, where's the accountability? We can't afford these sorts of white elephant propositions where taxpayers' money is essentially thrown out the window to satisfy a very, very, very small group of people. We're not growing the city as we should be. Instead, we're forcing businesses and people to live on the perimeters, and we're not developing our core. Our core of the city is in a shambles.